The orientation chamber aboard the Galactic Academy station hummed with nervous energy. 23 species sat in careful clusters, separated by instinct and ancient evolutionary fear. The herbivorous Quellan huddled together near the far wall, their large eyes darting between the carnivorous species. The silicon-based Crystallics remained isolated, communicating only through light pulses that most species couldn't interpret. And then there was Marcus Chen, the human. He sat alone in the center row, unremarkable in his standard-issue jumpsuit, dark hair slightly disheveled from the cryo-sleep that had brought him across 3 star systems. Instructor Vexith, a towering Kravik with chitinous armor and mandibles that clicked with each word, surveyed the room with satisfaction. This was his favorite part of the semester, the compatibility assessment. For centuries, the Academy had perfected the art of pairing species for deep space missions, but the introduction of humans to the galactic community had complicated the calculus considerably. "Attention, initiates," Vexith's translator crackled. "Today begins your bonding protocol. Each of you will be paired with a Scarix pup for emergency situation training." A collective gasp rippled through the herbivorous students. The Scarix were apex predators from a death world, creatures of nightmare with obsidian claws, rows of serrated teeth, and an instinct for the hunt that had made them legendary across a dozen sectors. Their adult forms stood 3 meters tall and could tear through reinforced steel. Even as pups, they were formidable. "The pups have been raised in isolation," Vexith continued, his mandibles clicking with what might have been amusement. "They have never encountered your species. This assessment will determine your capacity for interspecies cooperation under stress." The door hissed open, and handlers led in the Scarix pups. Each was the size of a large earth wolf, their scales gleaming like polished stone, eyes glowing with predatory intelligence. The handlers released their charges and quickly retreated. Chaos erupted immediately. A Quellan screamed as a pup approached, bolting for the corner. The movement triggered the pup's chase instinct and it lunged forward, snarling. Another student, a crystalline being, shattered its outer layer in panic, fragments scattering across the floor. The pups circled, growling, drawn to fear like sharks to blood, all except one. The smallest pup, its scales marked with unusual silver striations, padded directly toward Marcus. It didn't rush or stalk. It simply walked, head tilted in curiosity. The human didn't move, didn't flinch. He met the creature's glowing eyes with steady calmness. Vexith's attention focused entirely on this interaction. In 3 decades of teaching, he had seen every response to the Scarix: terror, aggression, paralysis. But this human simply sat, breathing slowly, hands resting on his knees. The pup reached Marcus and sniffed his hand. Then, in a movement that made several instructors in the observation booth gasp, it settled down beside him, resting its massive head against the human's leg. Marcus's hand moved slowly, deliberately, and began scratching behind the creature's auditory ridges. The pup's eyes half closed and a rumbling sound emerged from its chest. Not quite a purr, but close enough. "Fascinating," Vexith murmured. Then louder, "Attention! All students will now remain in this chamber for 72 hours. You must coexist with your assigned Scarix. Food, water, and basic facilities are provided. There are no further instructions." His mandibles spread in what humans would recognize as a predatory smile. He pressed the control panel and the chamber door sealed with a definitive clang. Emergency protocols engaged, reinforcing the walls. What the students didn't know was that this scenario had been designed based on actual deep space emergencies, where crew members had been trapped together for days or weeks. The panic intensified. Pups and students formed a chaotic tableau of fear and aggression. But in the eye of the storm sat Marcus and his pup, an island of unexpected calm. "Easy, everyone," Marcus called out, his voice carrying a natural authority. "They're reading your fear. Predators always do." A Quellan nearby whimpered as her pup circled closer. "Easy for you to say, human. Your kind evolved alongside predators." "Exactly," Marcus replied. "Which means I know something useful. These pups aren't hunting. They're scared too. Look at their body language." He was right. The pup's aggression was defensive, triggered by the terror radiating from the students. The silver-striped pup beside Marcus demonstrated the difference. Relaxed posture, controlled breathing, curiosity rather than fear. "Breathe slowly," Marcus instructed. "Make yourself smaller. Don't run. Show them you're not a threat." Over the next hour, something remarkable happened. The Quellan near Marcus, desperate enough to try anything, followed his advice. Her breathing slowed. She sat down slowly. Her pup's circling stopped. Cautiously it approached and sniffed her. "That's it," Marcus encouraged. "Let it investigate." The technique spread through the room like wildfire. Students mimicked the human's calm, his steady presence. The pups responded, their aggression fading into wary curiosity. By the 6th hour, the room had transformed from a battlefield into something resembling cooperation. Marcus shared his rations with his pup, showed others how to establish boundaries without aggression, even mediated a dispute between a silicon-based student and her particularly energetic pup. The silver-striped Scarix never left his side, becoming a bridge between human calm and alien fear. In the observation booth, Vexith watched with 3 of his colleagues. "Impossible," breathed Administrator Koleth, a floating gas being. "In 20 years I've never seen a human interact with Scarix." Their world, Vexith clicked thoughtfully, was filled with predators. They domesticated the wolf. They learned to read predator behavior because survival demanded it. But more than that, he gestured at Marcus, who was now teaching a group of students to play a simple game with the pups. They learned to build bridges. Humans are predators who became companions to other predators. They are prey who learn to think like hunters. They are the galaxy's great paradox. By hour 70, the chamber was peaceful. Students slept alongside their pups. Several had formed genuine bonds. And at the center, Marcus sat with his silver-striped companion, both watching over the room like unlikely guardians. When the door finally opened, Vexith entered to find not the anticipated carnage but a functioning community. "Congratulations, initiates," he announced. "You've passed." As the students filed out, many stopping to scratch their pups one final time, Vexith approached Marcus. The silver-striped Scarix growled protectively. "Easy, friend," Marcus murmured, calming the pup instantly. "Your species," Vexith said carefully, "continues to surprise us, human Chen." Marcus smiled, tired but genuine. "We had good teachers back home. Wolves taught us that the scariest predator can become family. We just had to learn to listen." As Marcus left with his pup, already approved for permanent pairing, Vexith updated his assessment logs. Beside the human's name, he entered a single note that would ripple through the Galactic Academy for generations. Species evaluation, humanity. Conclusion: they do not conquer fear. They befriend it.